Finally, backbiting. What is backbiting? You know, a lot of times we think that backbiting means that you talk about somebody behind their back and you exaggerate about them. So let's say, for example, that a person, he got a speeding ticket, but what you find is that you exaggerate and he said, well, he was arrested for drug dealing, let's say. That's not gossiping, that's slander. That has another sin. You know what backbiting is? Backbiting is something which we have within us. There is a deficiency within us. I am short, and someone behind my back says, oh, check this guy, he's so short. That's backbiting. Two sins you do, right? Firstly, you are offending him, you're hurting his feelings. What is backbiting? And you know, a lot of people, they justify and they say, well, you know what, if he was in front of me, I would have said it to his face. Two sins then. You know what that sin is? Offending him firstly in his face, and backbiting behind his back. For those people, God forbid, who have engineered themselves and worked in backbiting and done backbiting, you need to purify yourself, because on the day of, at the point when you die, your death becomes very painful. You could die kafir, and there's torment in your grave. Backbiting. Backbiting means that a person has it. He is blind. And you go and you make fun of him and you say he's blind. Backbiting. To justify to say that I'm allowed to backbite the person, that's not the case. Only a person, if he's fasik, can you backbite. But you're all believers. So gossiping and backbiting always go hand in hand, and this is what we're finding in today, the age of sin. So much backbiting, so many talking about people. I've seen ulama of the highest level who never talk about a person behind their back. The minute they go, nothing positive, nothing negative, because they don't want to from the positive to engineer. What you start off as, you start off positive. He's a really good bloke. 2 minutes down the line, you're trying to prevent yourself from backbiting, but all of a sudden, but you know what? He swore at me, or something like that. And you've engineered yourself and you've gone into backbiting. But what is the kafara for this? If a person has done this act before, in the tradition it says you should always pray for the other person's sins to be removed, if you ever remember them and if you ever remember the sin. Secondly, it says that if you're sitting in a place and another person is being eaten up, somebody's backbiting about another person, in the tradition it says, you need to defend that person. If you defend that person, 1,000 doors of tragedy which were going to come upon you, torment which was going to come upon you. Or let's say, for example, a problem which was going to come upon you. Let's say, God forbid, there was going to be a divorce in your life. God removes those torments away in this world and in the hereafter.